constructed to contain the two tablets.
It's covered entirely in gold.
One of the greatest mysteries for biblical scholars is precisely where the Ark of the Covenant stood in the temple King Solomon built in Jerusalem nearly 3,000 years ago. The Ark of the Covenant itself, the wooden box used to keep the stone tablets on which the Ten Commandments are thought to have been penned, has vanished into the mists of time. However, an archaeological architect claims that the arks form a place of honor still visible today in Jerusalem's temple, mount inside the Muslim shrine known as the Dome of the Rock. What lies beneath this massive gleaming gold dome? Why exactly is there such fierce competition for control of this location? Join us in today's video as we attempt to unravel all these secrets. History of Dome of the Rock. In the heart of the Middle East, an enchanting image graces the horizon, casting an iridescent spell as the sun sets over the ancient city of Jerusalem. Atop the revered Haram al-Sharif, the highest point in Old Jerusalem, stands the glorious Dome of the Rock, an enduring testament to the burgeoning might of Islam in the 7th century. This architectural marvel, surrounded in mystery, defies the conventional notion of a mosque, leaving scholars to engage in spirited debates about its original purpose during the tumultuous period between the passing of the Prophet Muhammad in 632 and the dome's completion in 691 to 692. Against the backdrop of Arabia's intermittent conflicts and the Holy Land's territorial disputes, the first Arab armies, born from the sands of the Arabian Peninsula, were driven by an enthusiasm for conquest and empire building rather than the intricacies of construction. Hence, the Dome of the Rock emerged as one of the earliest Islamic structures, a shimmering beacon of faith. Between 685 and 691 to 692, the visionary Caliph Abd al-Malik, arguably one of the most significant Umayyad rulers, embarked on the audacious endeavor of constructing the Dome of the Rock. This awe-inspiring edifice would become a spiritual epicenter for his loyal followers, even as he waged a fierce civil war against Ibn Zubair. Notably, when Abd al-Malik embarked on this architectural triumph, the revered Kaaba, Islam's holiest sanctuary in Mecca, remained beyond his control. Thus, the Dome of the Rock stands resolute on the hallowed grounds of the Haram al-Sharif, a vast open-air platform that, in modern times, cradles the Al-Aqsa Mosque and other sacred structures. Temple Mount. In the heart of Jerusalem lies a place so hallowed it beckons to the faithful of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam alike, the revered Haram al-Sharif, known as the Temple Mount. This sacred ground bears the weight of history. Once the site of the Jewish Second Temple was reduced to ruins by the iron hand of Roman Emperor Titus in 70 CE during a tumultuous Jewish uprising. A Roman temple rose in its place, bearing witness to the ever-shifting sands of time. As antiquity waned, the Temple Mount endured its centerpiece, a colossal rock that whispers tales of ages past. Legend has it that upon this very rock, Abraham prepared to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac, a poignant moment etched into Judeo-Christian mythology. This rock holds another profound significance for Muslims, symbolizing Prophet Muhammad's miraculous night journey. Picture this: a starlit night in Mecca. Muhammad slumbers near the Kaaba when suddenly the angel Gabriel appears. Guided by heavenly light, Muhammad embarks on a celestial voyage to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, the farthest mosque in Jerusalem. From the rock, he ascends to the heavens, encountering prophets like Moses and Christ, glimpsing paradise and hell, and finally, beholding the divine presence encircled by angelic beings. This sacred rock is nestled within a mesmerizing architecture, where ambulatories gracefully encircle it, and an octagonal outer wall stands as a sentinel. At the heart, a grand colonnade supported by 4 pillars and adorned with 12 columns leads to a double-layered dome over 20 meters in diameter. The lower tiers of the columns gleam with polished marble, while the upper registers shimmer with splendid mosaics. The interior of the Dome of the Rock is a heavenly chamber, bathed in ethereal light streaming through latticed windows in the drum and outer walls. Golden mosaics resembling glistening jewels adorn the space, a testament to the artistry of the ages. Among them, Byzantine and Sasanian crowns and intricate vegetable motifs weave a tapestry of history. These crowns, reminiscent of those by the Byzantine Empire, once stood to the north and west. At the same time, to the east, the ancient Sasanian Empire crumbled under the relentless advance of the Arabs. The Ark of the Covenant. Before we discuss where the Ark of the Covenant is, we need first examine where it is not. Some believe it was destroyed when the Babylonians attacked Jerusalem in 586 BC. This viewpoint can be found in the 1st century AD Apocalypse of Ezra, where it is mentioned with many conflicting Talmudic opinions on the matter. However, this is doubtful, as Jeremiah mentions the ark's removal during Josiah's reign, which ended in 609 BC, more than 2 decades before the Babylonian conquest Jeremiah. It's not surprising that ancient authorities agreed that no ark was ever seen in the Second Temple, and even though the books of Maccabees, which represent institutional Judaism in the 2nd century BC, make the return of God's glory contingent on the revelation of the ark, no replacement was ever made to Maccabees 2:7-8. When we ask where is the Ark of the Covenant, nothing stands out more than the Bible's silence on the subject. How did the synosia of Israel's faith fade away so quickly? Placement of the Ark. The final information on the Ark has been placed in the temple, and people have been instructed to travel to Jerusalem and build the temple. This is undoubtedly a warning to future generations of Judahites to travel to Jerusalem, as some have already done, and find the Ark, the reason for the temple's existence, and rebuild the temple around it. But if the Ark is still hidden in the same place Josiah and his men hid it, where could it be? When David prepared the site for the temple, he transformed the mountaintop into a flat surface supported by a substructure with tunnels, chambers, and cisterns running beneath the mount itself. Like one of the Great Pyramids, a cross-section of the mount would reveal secret chambers and passageways. David had a valid reason for doing so. The temple was to be Israel's most important structure. It was to be the national treasury, the repository of sacred scriptures, and the repository of Israel's genealogical records. It was to be the fortress of the nation's most sacred artifacts, including Ark. Since the temple's destruction in AD 70, however, no one has ever excavated it in retaliation for the Judeo-Persian attack on Christian Jerusalem in AD 614. The Byzantines turned the mount into a garbage dump after the Muslim conquest. Caliph Abd al-Malik built a shrine where the temple once stood, which has remained in place today. What hid the Ark? However, the passages beneath the mount remained sealed throughout the ages. The most likely scenario is that Josiah's Kohanim hid the Ark in the tunnels beneath the Temple Mount. In fact, the Bible implies that according to the books of Kings, the Ark's poles are still in the holy place. Today, these books were written after the Babylonian destruction, because the poles could not have been separated from the Ark. We must conclude that the Arkham poles were present in the holy place before, during, and after the Babylonian invasion. But the Babylonians did not find it. How is this possible? According to the Hebrew concept of sacred space, the holiness of the temple extends vertically upward into the heavens above it, and downward into the earth beneath it. The area directly above and below the holiest of holies is just as sacred as below ground level. This is one of the reasons why modern Israel prohibits air traffic from flying over the Temple Mount. Today, the Islamic Qubat al-Sakra, or Dome of the Rock, is named after this same stone or rock built over the temple's Holy of Holies. The Ark once rested on this rock, the tips of its poles pressing into the sanctuary curtain, assuring the ministering Kohanim on the other side of its presence even when hidden from view. Whether or not the Ark will be seen anytime soon depends on several factors, all of which are linked to modern Middle Eastern politics. During the 1967 Six-Day War, Israeli forces took control of all Jerusalem, including the Temple Mount and its surrounding walls. However, 10 days later, Israel's defense minister Dayan, the epitome of the secular Jew, returned the temple area to Jordanians, except for the western wall, to ensure their acceptance of the land taken. This may have made Israel's 1967 gains more secure, but it earned Dayan eternal scorn from religious Jews. Jordan, Palestinians, and other Muslim nations established the Jerusalem Islamic Walk to manage the Temple Mount. That's all for today. In the comments below, let's hear your thoughts about the Ark of the Covenant. You can also let us know about your preferred topics so we can feature them in our next video. Subscribe and press the bell icon. Until next time, it's goodbye.